Soccer may be a fun game enjoyed by the world, but it has led to many violent events we will cover today. Our first is about Andres Escobar. Andres Escobar was a Colombian footballer who competed as part of the national team in the 1994 FIFA World Cup in USA. Unfortunately, tragedy struck during their second match when they faced off against the United States. During this game, Escobar made a critical mistake that would ultimately result in his death. After attempting to make a defensive clearance, he unfortunately scored an own goal into his own net, resulting in Colombia losing the match 2-1 and ultimately being eliminated from the tournament. This event caused Andres to be vilified by fans and media alike, leading to him receiving death threats throughout his time back home in Colombia. He eventually succumbed to one of these threats on July 2, 1994, when he was shot 6 times outside of a nightclub in Medellin. This horrific event shocked the world of football and serves as a reminder of how harsh and unforgiving sport can be. Despite his mistake on the world stage, Andres was remembered fondly for his contribution to Colombian football both before and after the fateful incident, with many describing him as an outstanding player with integrity and class beyond compare. It's a tragedy that such an excellent talent had to end so senselessly, but his legacy will live on forever amongst those who love the beautiful game. Over 120,000 people attended his funeral, and in 2002, the city of his birth, Medellin, unveiled a statue in his honor. Humberto Castro Muñoz was a bodyguard for members of a powerful Colombian drug cartel and was found guilty of murder after confessing to the crime. He had been employed as the driver for Santiago Galán, who had lost a substantial amount of money due to an own goal in a game that was allegedly fixed by the cartel. In 1995, Muñoz was sentenced to 43 years in prison. His sentence was reduced to 26 years after he submitted to the ruling penal code in 2001. After serving approximately 11 years of his sentence, he was released on good behavior in 2005. Following his release, it is reported that he has been a model citizen and is living a life free of crime. We go to Iran to bring this story. Mehran Samak, a 27-year-old Iranian man, tragically lost his life after celebrating his country's loss to the United States in the World Cup. According to Iran Human Rights, a Norway-based organization, Samak was shot in the head for honking his car horn in response to the team's elimination from the tournament. Samak was a childhood friend of Iranian soccer midfielder Saeed Ezatolahi, who plays on the national team. In reaction to his friend's death, Ezatolahi posted an emotional tribute to Samak on Instagram. The post lamented the senseless loss and highlighted the tense atmosphere in Iran at present. While it is unclear what the consequences were of Samak's celebration, it is evident that he paid a heavy price. Samak's death serves as an example of the risk people take in challenging their governments, even in small ways. It is also a reminder of how much pressure citizens of politically oppressive countries are under, and how fatalities resulting from such circumstance are all too common. The tragic death of Mehran Samak should be a wake-up call for those in power to consider the importance of freedom and justice for their citizens, or face potentially dire consequences. On October 1, 2022, a tragic event occurred in East Java, Indonesia. More than 130 people were killed in a stampede that took place as they rushed to exit Kanjuruhan Stadium after a football match. The cause of the deadly disaster was identified by Indonesia's security minister as being due to tear gas. This event has been deemed one of the worst stadium disasters ever recorded in history. Eyewitness accounts told of how panic and confusion had ensued when security forces fired the tear gas inside the stadium, leading to the death of those trying to find their way out. Reports have also highlighted that amongst those who died, there was a large number of children present at the time of the incident. It is believed that overcrowding at the venue may have been responsible for such an abnormal amount of fatalities and injuries. However, investigations are still ongoing into what could have caused this tragedy. The aftermath of this event has seen local authorities vow to conduct thorough investigations into what happened and ensure something similar never happens again. It is hoped that any findings from these investigations will bring some closure to those affected by the disaster, allowing them to move forward with their lives and honor those who passed away in such an unfortunate accident. Argentine soccer player Franco Nieto tragically passed away on Saturday after having been violently attacked by a gang of hooligans. Nieto, 33, had been playing in a match between Rosario-based team Tiro Federal and Buenos Aires club Caracita Juniors when the referee ejected 8 players for fighting on the field. After the game, as Nieto was getting into his car with his wife and their 1-month-old daughter, he was accosted by the group of hooligans who proceeded to punch and kick him before one of them struck him in the head with a stone, causing fatal injuries which led to his death. He is the 15th soccer-related death in 2014. The incident is yet another example of Argentina's ongoing problem with violence in soccer, a problem that continues to plague the sport in spite of increased security efforts from both governmental and private institutions. Sadly, this particular case serves as an unfortunate reminder of how far we still have to go to ensure adequate safety for players and spectators alike at sporting events throughout the world.